Hey, what's up? This is Benjamin. Welcome to the Eccentric Custom Collected Garage. Today we're taking a look at a pre-war 1936 Hawthorne fastback. A very, very unique bike that I've never seen in all my travels through bikedom. So let's check it out.
As I said in the intro, this is a very unique little bike. And I say little because even though it has 26-inch wheels on it, I was riding it around earlier, this thing's pretty compact. My 12-year-old son said, hey, this fits me about perfect. I'm 6 foot 200 something, and I barely fit on it. My feet were hitting the fender and everything else. I think you could probably fit 24-inch wheels on it, and should I keep it and turn it into like a board track racer, I probably will put 24-inch wheels that I have here at the house on it. But that being said, let's dig into this thing a little bit. This was built by a company named Snyder. Snyder built frame and forks for many, many different companies, Hawthorne being one of them. This is a Hawthorne Sportsman fastback from 1936. What makes it a fastback is this little section right here, the way it swoops down right by the head tube. Usually a bike would kind of meet up at the head tube, up where that giant nut is there, and that's another thing that makes it kind of unique. This giant seat post that's a threaded nut. That was a Snyder thing from 1935 to 1936. The seat here is a long spring seat. Another cool, rare pre-war thing. Just kind of neat, the whole profile of it. And it is, to be honest with you, it is really spongy to sit on. It's definitely springy. The sprocket and dogleg crank. They call it a dogleg crank because you see kind of the way it pops out there. They refer to that as a dogleg. It mostly came on skip tooth only setups. And by skip tooth, I mean, look here. There usually would be another tooth in this sprocket on a modern bike. But for some reason, back in pre-war days, they made them skip tooth. It takes a specific chain, and if you look at the chain, notice how it skips a tooth. Pretty interesting. Even back then, they had these cool little tensioners. It's rare to find these unrusted and just not beat up. This is a really cool bike. Now let me tell you the story about it a little bit. This particular bike came out of a gentleman's barn. His son found it after he passed away. It was sitting in his barn, and it then ended up at a bike collective where I got it. So I'm kind of figuring, man, do I want to turn this into just like, keep it as is? I don't know. I've even considered turning it into a motorized, like, board track racer kind of look, kind of like the blue bike that I featured on a video earlier you might want to go check out. Or do I want to just keep it as is, or do I want to pass it along to a collector who really wants one of these? Because like I said, these fastbacks are very rare. Let's look at these rims real quick too. This is called a flat side rim. Very, very cool looking. The tires are Davis Deluxe. See that there? Davis Deluxe. And even as old as they are and cracking and such, they still hold air. I've been riding this thing around all day. It's really cool. And even looking at the fender almost seems to me like maybe this was built to have a 24-inch, wheel and tire combo. Or, they replaced the fender at some point. The fork is interesting too. Usually this would be like a 3-stack kind of deal, but it's not. And I've had a few people online tell me that this is an Elgin fork. I don't know. Maybe you could chime in and let me know. Really neat stem. Everything from this era, this pre-war era, was very, Art Deco. Just super cool. I really dig this bike, and to be honest with you, I almost kind of hope a collector gets a hold of me like, man, I can't do without this bike. I want to do it up, make it original. That being said, if you do buy it, you would have to fix that. It looks like Helen Keller took a stick machine and fixed this frame. It's in really, really bad shape, at least in these spots. Now, Do I think that it wouldn't hold? That's not what I'm saying. I think it's strong. It just is not aesthetically pleasing. But anyhow, here it is. 1936 Hawthorne. A very, very cool bike. A fastback bike you don't see very often. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. And we'll talk to you next time. Keep your eyes peeled for more from the Eccentric Custom Collective Garage.